Welcome back, Cowboys Nation. It is the Dallas Ballers Club. My name is Bennett Lehman. That's David
Um,
Spangler. We are
yeah, we're back.
officially back. We are back just in time for the start of the NFL season. The Chiefs and the Ravens will be kicking off in about an hour and 20 minutes. So we're going to try to make this one quick for y'all. We're super excited. We're back. It's been a long off season. We actually just full disclaimer. I'm going to go ahead and get out in front of this now. We did record an episode last week. I did accidentally delete the entire file. So yeah,
Tough,
let's
tough.
just get that out in the open. I'm gonna wear that one. Um, but yeah. Anyways, how are things with you, Spanky?
Things are good, man. It's football season. Got to see for the viewers out there listening, I relocated back home for the time being, and I was able to see Bennett first time since graduation.
Mm-hmm.
At the Baylor game, it was a good time. We had a lot of fun, a lot of giggles, a lot of laughs.
Lots of
And
giggles.
for you viewers out there, if you want to go random football player for random football player, I mean, I know
Ooh.
who my first call is.
Yeah.
So.
Likewise.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, it was a great time. I'm doing well. Very happy to be back. Hopefully you don't delete this file and
Right.
ready for football season, man. Ready for football season.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Well, we've got an awesome show. This is episode 1 of season 2 of the Dallas Ballers Club. I know what everyone's probably thinking. Where is Clayton? He actually was planning to be here today. He was planning on putting on a flu game performance. He's been pretty down bad the last 2 or 3 days. Was in the emergency room a couple days, getting like antibiotics and stuff like that. Or wait, why are you giving me that? Oh, urgent care, not the emergency room. Sorry,
Yeah, jeez.
sorry. Yeah, it's not that bad. He just has like a sinus infection or something
Yeah,
like
kid
that.
sounds gross. We're doing y'all a favor at the end of the
Yeah,
day right
yeah.
now. Like
Trust.
he sounds like heinous. It's gross.
Yeah.
It makes me dry heat thinking about it.
Yeah, but yeah, so just like you said, we're doing y'all a favor. We don't want y'all to have to listen to him sniffling and blowing his nose and just, being an eyesore. So
Yeah,
we're gonna spare y'all with that. But we've got
word.
a lot of really awesome stuff planned this season. As you can see, probably looks a little bit better. That's kind of what we're going for. We're still looking to make improvements to our overall presentation. We didn't want to come back unless we actually had a better quality product to show y'all. So that's why it kind of took a little bit longer. But we're back. We're ready to rock and roll. In today's episode, we're going to be, Spank and I, we're going to be going through our schedule predictions. So we want to get that on record. I'm trying to think of how we finished last season. I feel like it wasn't terribly off. Like in terms of total record, maybe some of the games that we won or lost were probably a little bit off. Like I think we were still in that delusional phase where we thought we could beat the 49ers last year.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
No, we were.
yeah, so but I
Don't pull up
think
the clips. Do
yeah,
not pull up the
yeah. Don't
clips.
pull
Don't
this.
go clip hunting on us. We're starting off.
Yeah,
Let us get a few under the belt first before you come for our heads. But
exactly,
yikes.
exactly. So yeah, we're gonna be going through the schedule. We're gonna be giving y'all win loss brief synopsis. Like I said, we're gonna try to keep this make this as quick as possible without putting out a god awful product. And then we're gonna talk a little bit about the game coming up on Sunday, week 1, Cowboys at the Cleveland Browns. Should be a really awesome game. A lot of storylines going into that. We're going to do a little bit of a preview and a look at that game, what to expect. Then we're going to give our score predictions for that game. So we got a really awesome show. We're going to go ahead and just kind of roll right on into it here. We've got our schedule predictions. Now, Spanky, I know we did this last week. So I do have our picks written down already, but don't know if you wanted to just go off that or if we just kind of wanted to go like and just rip it, just free ball it again, see what happens.
For a cleaner product and for the viewers not to hear Berkey and I think out loud once again, trying to get a better product for them viewers. I'll let you kind of take the reins, and if you want to highlight any games in particular, kind of the ones we got circled, I'm more than happy. But for the betterment of this podcast and the viewers not seeing smoke come out our ears, I believe you should just read them off.
Okay. Okay. Well, awesome. So I do have the results written down that we had selected last weekend. I'll save our total record predictions for the end, but week one we were both in unison, and I'm sure we'll talk about this when we get to our game preview as well. But we both had us losing this game. Do you want to
Yeah.
do you want to revise that, or are you still feeling confident in that?
I wanna revise it, even though
We
it
always want.
doesn't take a lot. Yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't take a lot for me to go back in,
Hmm.
get back in on this team. It's Thursday, tomorrow's Friday, sun is shining, uh, but nah, I think with this week 1 game, I think it's tough. We'll go into it more, but I wanna stay with, my record prediction from last week pretty
Okay.
much throughout this entire, record prediction segment. I just wanna stay with it, stay with the
Okay.
gut feeling. I think it's gonna be a loss.
Gotcha. All right. Well, I will give you the chance to make revisions as we go week by week, and then we can just kind of make those decisions. Maybe you get a gut feeling about a game that you were 50-50 on last week. But um, okay, week two at home against New Orleans. This was another one that we both had the same thinking on. This was a win. I feel like
Yep.
that should be pretty obvious. Not very high on New Orleans this year. I don't think you are either. And I
Nah.
don't. I don't think any football fans out there should be. Sorry to any Saints fans who might um, listen to this, but it's going to be a long year for y'all. I hate to
Yeah.
say it. I really hope my guy Spencer Rattler can get some reps there. I think that would make things fun for y'all at least. But we know Derek Carr's not it, and shout out to anyone who drafted Alvin Kamara in the second round of fantasy football drafts this year.
Thoughts
It's
and
pretty.
prayers.
Week three at home against Baltimore.
It's tough. Obviously, Baltimore has that fake MVP at the helm.
Yep,
Daylight robbery, 2024 should be convicted probably. But what I think I had this as a loss,
you did.
and I'm going to revise it.
Oh,
I really for whatever reason, I really like this Baltimore matchup for us. I think we dominate both in the pass defense and the pass offense. I think we can give them the edge in both run and pass or run defense and run offense. But I trust 4/8. I trust 88 over Rashad Bateman, and I trust
well,
Diggs to
say
hold his
flowers.
own.
Say flowers.
Same thing. I trust Kalen Carson then. But yeah, I trust our team. A little switch flicked in my head last night watching Cowboys 2024 preseason hype video going into the season. Might be back in
It's always
to
the hype
be
video.
determined.
It's
To
always
be
the hype video
determined.
that gets
But
you. Yeah.
yeah, let's revise this to a dub.
Okay. I like it. I like it. We have our first revision of the day, and it comes with a win over the Baltimore Ravens by Spanky. So far through three games, I've got us at 1-2. You've got us at 2-1. That brings us to week four on the road at the New York Giants. This one feels pretty chalk. We both have wins. Don't even think it
That's a
will be
W.
close. Yeah. Um, I'm sure we'll talk about it, as we move through the season and all that. But if you're a Giants fan, not a lot to look forward to. I mean, I did a fantasy draft a couple weeks ago, and or sorry, not a couple weeks, a couple days ago, with some buddies from back in Virginia, and Malik Neighbors, I think, went in like the ninth round because everyone's terrified of Daniel Jones. So
Yeah.
um, yeah, and a couple of the guys in that league even are Giants fans, and they didn't even want to touch him. So, if that doesn't tell you about what to expect from the Giants, then yeesh, yeah, it's gonna be a long year up in where are they from? East Rutherford, New Jersey.
Yep.
Yeah, gonna be a long year for them. But moving along, Week 5 at Pittsburgh, Sunday Night Football, I believe.
Yes, it is Sunday night. NBC and Peacock. Tune in.
No,
Thank you,
no
NBC, for the
free ads though. No
sponsorship.
free
Yeah.
ads.
This is a tough one. Can you read off who's the following game?
Um, re, revenge game last year, the Lions.
Yeah, so this is has all the makings of like one of those early season trap games, kind of like Arizona last year. We're going to be looking at the Lions 100% over the Steelers, whether it's Fields or Russell Wilson. So I think this game's going to be really way too close for comfort. Cowboys Twitter is going to have a civil war at halftime, and we're going to see a Brandon Aubrey late long field goal. But I'm going a dub here.
Okay. Close win against Pittsburgh. Yeah, I feel like the last few games that I can remember of us playing the Steelers have always been close. I mean, I remember the Dak and Zeke
Always
game.
memorable.
Yeah.
Always memorable
I
against
rem
them.
yeah, I'll tell you what, I remember I mean, my dad and I were at the game in Dak and Zeke's rookie year right after Dez's dad died. That was a great game. And then I think I remember was it Garrett Gilbert when that year that the Steelers were like the worst like 11-0 team ever?
Yes.
I think
Yeah.
I pretty sure we lost, but I think Garrett Gilbert had the ball driving down the field to win the game. So, um, and I pretty sure we lost, but it was very narrow. But yeah, that was the Dak ankle injury year. Yeah, nightmare. So
No.
um, yeah. Okay, moving right along. Week 6. Already alluded to it a little bit, but at home against the Detroit Lions, I am just going to be honest. I have this as a loss. I think. Let me just verify real quick. You did too. I think we were both kind of on the same wavelength that this is basically the Lions Super Bowl, just based on everything that happened last year. I mean, still don't really care if Dan Skipper reported eligible. Neither of us ended up with the Super Bowl, so I don't know why Lions fans are still crying about it to this day. But yeah, that is their Super Bowl is coming back to Dallas and beating us in that game, and I think they will beat us.
Yeah, I mean, right off the gate, we got a few early tests. It would be, I don't want to say like our defining moment of the season, but if we somehow squeak out a win against Detroit with everything that's going on outside of the football game, with the, like you said, the reported eligible, whatever, he's a bum, whatever, loser, dork behavior that their fans do, keep bringing it up, and they're doing the belly rubs. If we win this game, it would make me pretty insufferable on Twitter, I would say. But that being said, they got to prove it to me that they could do it. So till then, I'm going to pencil it in as a loss.
Yeah, yeah. Um, okay. Well, week 7 against the bye week, I have us edging that one out. Really close game, but yeah, I have us losing the
Pause.
bye.
Yeah, pause. But
Yeah,
yeah, no, I have us. I mean, around this time, we had a very pretty big injury happen to our defensive back room, and Berk's recovering from a pause call on the podcast that's being posted on the internet, so that's
yeah,
gonna live forever.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I dub. Let's get healthy, and yeah,
Yeah, yeah, let's get healthy. I think this could be around the time when we could be expecting to see Deron Bland back, either for the Lions game if he's really pushing it, or I think more likely is probably after the bye for this game against San Francisco. So that's something to keep an eye on as well. But I already kind of alluded to it. Week 8, we got to go play Big Bro at San Fran, just clear cut and dry. It's going to be a loss until proven otherwise. I will
yeah,
never pick the
yeah.
Dallas Cowboys to beat the San Francisco 49ers ever unless either half their team doesn't show up to the field and Kyle Shanahan, or there's significant changes, or they actually just go out on the field and prove it. And I don't see any of that happening. So it's going to be a loss.
The word.
And
You
it's
took the words out of my mouth, man.
yeah.
It's until proven otherwise. San Fran's big bro. We just gotta accept it.
Yep. Yep. And then this was so week 9, really interesting game here. Sorry, by the way, um, San Francisco, that game is on Sunday Night Football as well. So that sucks.
Can't wait for
But
my whole work week to be affected from the
yeah,
22 guys I watch on offense and defense.
yeah.
So
Also, we did miss this, but week 4 at the Giants is Thursday Night Football. So I'm just trying to make sure that we're on top of all those, but I do have them written down. But okay. Anyways, week 9, this is a really interesting game. I think this was a game that we were both extremely coin flip 50-50 on at Atlanta.
Yeah, I don't even know what I said for my prediction last
Do you
week
want
when
to
Berk
know, or
recorded.
do you want to rip it?
I'm gonna say we're gonna win this game.
That's what you got last week.
All right, yeah, I'll stay true. Uh, Kirk Cousins is a worse quarterback than Dak, and I know Jesse Bates and their corner AJ Terrell, and that's about all I know on their defense. So until
They did just sign
they need
Justin
to prove
Simmons
me, they need to prove
and
me otherwise.
traded for Matthew Judon.
Yeah. Ooh.
I mean, yeah, they I so this one's really tough for me. I think it's a total coin flip. The way that I see this season unfolding and why I do have us losing this game is because I think that this stretch of 3 games where we lose to the Lions, 49ers, and Falcons, 3 teams that we expect to be playoff teams, I think Mike McCarthy's seat is going to be red hot. And I think we parlay that into our next week at home against Philadelphia, and we beat the hell out of them. Mike McCarthy just hears all the
Saves his
chatter
job.
outside the building and says, "Watch me."
Yeah.
And we come back and we beat Philadelphia in week 10. I think
Love it.
you also had this as a win as well.
Yeah, all Cowboys fans should know it's just going to be a 50-50 split unless one team pulls off a miracle in this little series that we got going on year after year. But I love what you said. That 3 or 4 week gauntlet has potential to be our implosion this year. It's either our implosion or our explosion this year, and there's no other way to put it.
Yeah.
It's not a
No, no,
pause.
no, 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 it's not. It's not. I was just thinking because I heard explosion and then it got the gears turning.
Gears churning in there.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, this is for sure going to be. I mean, it's going to be anxiety all week for 4 weeks, probably leading up to these games. But I love us beating Eagles at home. It's a fun tradition to see year after year.
Yeah. And guess what? The toughest gauntlet in football actually continues here. Um, wait, did I read that right? Oh, sorry. Sorry, going back to week 9 at the Falcons. This is horrible podcasting, by the way, but I've been misreading our picks the whole time. Um, I had us beating the Falcons. You had us losing to the Falcons.
Yeah, well, I revised that shit and
Okay.
penciled me in as a dub because
Okay.
Rain Dakota Prescott's better than Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
I'm Kirk
And
Cousins.
yeah, so I guess I already did I say we were yeah, I did say we were losing that game. I did say that. So, revising. Um okay, this was another tough game. This is kind of the end of the really difficult gauntlet, but Monday Night Football at home. We know this one's going to be popular with our buddies against the Houston Texans.
Cowboy
Yeah.
Nation, if we can win one game this year, I know we play San Fran, I know we play yada yada. I'll happily go 0-2 against the Eagles this year if it means beating the Houston Texans, just for personal reasons. Uh, Please, for the love of God, beat them. I will not be able to. It will be There will be friendships that end this weekend if the Cowboys end up losing. Could bet money I'll probably be seeing Berk and going to this game with our buddies. But if not, if they want to put a restraining order on me because they know I'll get out of hand, regardless of the result, uh, I'll be watching from home and probably blocking some friends if we lost. So this is my Super Bowl. I just want to put that out in the internet right now. Big Red's going to clip this or something, but this is my Super Bowl. I hope we sack the shit out of Stroud. I hope Joe Mixon gets 2.4 yards a carry. And I hope one of their wide receivers tries to go up for a ball and someone just absolutely flattens them. So that's my prediction. It's a W, and we're going to keep rolling.
Okay. Yeah, unfortunately I just don't see it that way. Um and
Got to be
look,
the optimistic one in the friend group, you know?
I know, and it's a role, and it's it's an incredible burden that you choose to be the flag bearer there, and I have a ton of respect because I just can't do
It
it
means a
anymore.
lot hearing
Yeah,
this, actually. Yeah.
yeah. So, but unfortunately, and I'm sure my Texans buddies are gonna love it because every time they see me, they ask about this game, and I give them the same thing every time. I say I don't think that we're gonna win this game. Um, I'm kind of in believe it when I see it mode with the Texans. Everyone seems to be on the Texans hype train this year. I think it kind of needs to be dialed back a little bit, but I also understand where it's coming from. Stroud was awesome last year. They got a lot better, at least on paper, but they added some personalities to that locker room. So it'll be interesting to see if D'Amico can keep everything together. But as of right now, I'm gonna have us losing that game. Could be revised depending on how the season goes, but that's going to be a loss for me for right now. But thankfully, we get a little bit of break from the streak of like 5 straight playoff teams, and we get to go to Washington. Um, Spoiler alert: I think we both had this as a pretty easy W.
That's a
Yeah,
W. I don't even need to talk about that.
yeah,
I think I'm going to be taking a Micah Parsons alt sack total this game because I think he is going to one, he's an assassin this year if you haven't caught on to his recent media
assassin.
analogies.
Okay,
Assassin. He's not a killer, he's not sloppy anymore. He's not a hitman, he's an
okay,
assassin. Yeah, whatever. I love it.
sure.
Nah,
Uh,
whatever floats, man. But,
yeah, whatever. Yeah, okay, cool. Assassin.
we're finally gonna see a Mike DQ matchup, so that'll be a fun one, and,
Yes.
let's see how many linebackers he puts on the field.
Yeah, yeah, that will be really interesting. Um, Moving right along, week 13. I mean, this is at home against the Giants. We don't even need to spend time talking about this. It's a win unless something catastrophically horrible happens. Week 14 at home against the Bengals.
It's tough. This is gonna be a fun game. I have no idea what the record, but I won't even try to think. I think we win it. Uh, Home game, you said? Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we 15-1 at home the last 2 years. I think we carry on a strong home record.
Okay. Okay. Um, I'm kind of sticking being I mean, I gotta be the negative one since you're the positive one and Stu's not here to be even more
That's your
negative.
flag to bear, man.
Yeah,
It's
I
not easy being you. It's not easy walking in your footsteps. Not
well,
easy.
yeah.
Tried it for 2 months, I hated it. I hated it.
Yeah.
I tried.
It's hard. I'm just immune now. I mean, I've been negative for 7 months, and yeah, it's not going anywhere. But yeah, I'm gonna say that we're losing this game. Think Cincinnati's gonna be really good. I think they might even win the AFC this year. Um, but that game will be interesting, especially depending on where we are. That game could be potentially huge for us. So, but for right now, I'm going to say that we're losing that game, and thankfully we get like another easier game. This time we're going to Carolina. We both had this as a win. I'm assuming we're going
Yeah,
to stick with that.
let's not waste breath on that one.
Yeah, yeah. Week 16 at home against Tampa Bay. This game is also on Sunday Night Football.
Definitely gonna be a sneakier close game, but I think I had us winning this, so
Yeah,
stay with that.
yeah, I did as well. I think Tampa's not a bad team. It'll be really interesting to see how the NFC South plays out this year if Tampa can make it back to the playoffs. But I think we're a better team, even if this is a down year, like I think it might be for us. I still think we're a better team than them. So
Yeah.
yeah, Week 17 at Philadelphia.
Yeah, they could get that one. Let's be just keep it somewhat realistic, having us go 1-1 split, even as an optimist, a 1-1 split against Philly. for the rest of the division. We'll take that every year.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm on the same page. 1-1 split, home and home. I mean, it just seems like the way that Cowboys Eagles pretty much goes nowadays. So, yeah, I'm gonna say that we lose that game, and then week 18 at home against Washington should be a win.
Yeah, it should be a win unless the only way we lose this game is if we're tanking for Shador. So I think it's a win if we're in playoff contention. It's a loss if we're not.
Okay. Yeah, I love it. Well, going by
Don't don't
your
tell me I'm higher than 11 wins on this team.
what do you think you're at right now?
I think I'm at a higher number than 11, and I'm nervous for you to say it out loud and put that in the internet. Am I at 13?
You are at 13.
Oh my god. I can't help it.
I know. And for reference, because I went back and I revised the game at Atlanta to a win. I have us at 10-7. You you were here at 13-4. So there it is. That's our
That's the Cowboys
preseason. Yeah,
record.
that's our preseason schedule predictions. This is the first time that going through it, I had us not going 10-7 on the first try, had 9-8, but I did revise the Falcons game. So 10-7, that's been my sweet spot every time that I've done this exercise. 13-4, tell you what, that is quite the prediction. You even have us from week 9 through 16 not dropping a single game, going on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 game win streak.
Good teams peak at the right time, my friend. Good teams peak at the right time.
It's fair enough. That's fair enough. Well, yeah, so that's our record predictions. I got us at 10-7. I will say last week you had 11-6. This week you're at 13-4. So I
Damn
get
hype videos do that to you, huh?
yeah, I guess so. I guess so. But let's see, we're at about 26, 27 minutes here. So let's go ahead and jump to the other side of our pod here. We got a game to talk about. Week 1, Cowboys at Browns. Let's try to talk about it, but let's not go too long here like we would have last year. I think Spanky and I's goal for this year, especially, I think it's going to be pretty tough for us to make 2 uploads a week. So I think we're trying to consolidate as much as we can, not have those hour and a half long episodes. So yeah, we're going to try to keep it a little bit more concise this year, but also be able to give you, our actual thoughts and analysis and all of that. So, week 1, Dallas Cowboys at Cleveland Browns. This is going to be an interesting game. I'm just going to say that right
Yeah,
now. I think it's close. I think it's low scoring. I think it's probably pretty scrappy, and I think it's ugly.
ugly. It's gonna be ugly.
Yeah,
It's gonna be ugly.
I think this is a game in which I think Cleveland. Well, actually, this is kind of the first thing that I want to bring up, and I'm curious to know your thoughts. So I've been reading reports that apparently Cleveland, especially with Nick Chubb being out at least like the first 4 games of the season, that they're going to try to be a lot more pass heavy this year. And I'm curious to know, like, what do we think that's going to look like in week 1 from a Cleveland Browns perspective?
Yeah, I mean they got Judy, traded for Judy,
Mhm.
who's mega ass and Denver, but he might be somewhat usable, even if he's a jag, just a guy. Uh, I mean that's a competent trade for Cleveland. Uh, I think if they play into a pass first offense scheme, I think that plays into our hands.
Yeah.
So I would almost dare them to. Even with Bland out, I know we got an unproven rookie who we're going to see a lot of Amari Cooper motions to. If I were to be a betting man, which I am. But yeah, I think if they somehow go past first, it's going to be interesting. I think a key matchup to watch is new linebacking core against David Njoku. I think of years past, I think David Njoku probably has 120 yards on either Van Der Esch or Damone Clark. But if you haven't paid attention to our depth chart, viewers out there, they have Kendricks and Leafau as our starting linebackers.
Okay,
Leafau over Overshown. So that
interesting.
is definitely a surprise. I think we see a rotation, but I'm
Yeah,
curious to see what this new linebacking core looks and if they play pass first. We know that Leafau kind of was the Notre Dame chess piece. We know Eric Kendricks was kind of like a very good pass cover linebacker, and we know Overshawn's fast as shit. So uh, I hope they play pass first, but I almost dare them to against us because I think they definitely have a disgusting run blocking offensive line.
yeah, yeah. I echo everything that that you said, and I think with what you're saying with, them, if they decide to go with a pass heavy approach, I think it does play right into our hands. But I think the X factor for this game, I think between both teams, I think is going to be the ability of Cleveland's number four, Groper, Cleveland, Deshaun Watson. Um, I think he is pretty much the X factor. There's been a lot of people saying, and there's been a lot of buzz around this Cleveland offense coming into this year, saying that Deshaun Watson looks like he's finally back. He's looked really good in camp, and I'm in. This is, I mean, I've said it a couple times this episode already, but I am in complete and utter believe it when I see it territory when it comes to Deshaun Watson. He has not been good at all since his Houston days when he was still getting tuggies or sorry, non-consensual tuggies from Houston area masseuses. So I gotta believe it when I gotta see it with him. I just do. I gotta
Yeah.
see it.
And then I have a little topic change, Burke.
Okay.
For the moment, I agree with everything you said. I wish to not comment on Deshaun Watson on the internet, so I'm going to change the topic.
Mm,
But
yeah.
what I'm going to say is I think our switching to offense, I think this is a game, and I could be wrong, but I think this is a game where 488 and 87 aren't going to win the game for you. I think Cleveland's going to do a really fantastic job at taking away Dak's first and second read, and that's CD and Ferg. So I have a question for you, Burke.
Sure.
Who are you more confident in to take that step to push us over the line? Because we see it time and time again. Teams come playoffs, take away Ferg, take away CD, do whatever, and we start imploding. So who do you have more confidence in, Burke? Whoever our running back core is, whether that's Zeke leading the line or Dowdle, Gallup, or I mean not Gallup, Cooks or Tolbert. Who do you have more confidence in to take that step to make us potentially buy back in on this season?
Can I can I not say Jake Ferguson?
Yeah, no, Ferg is not an option.
Mm,
Our running back
mm.
core, Cooks or Tolbert. Who do you have faith to take that step?
Um, Man, that's
Not
a great
faith, but I guess
like shred
who
of
would
hope.
you bet on?
That's a great question. I think wow, that's really tough. I think this running back room right now for me is just way too much of a question mark. Um, if it was up to me with the guys we have on the roster, I know who my starter would be. And it's without a doubt Rico Dowdle, just based on what we saw last year. The guy runs hard, he runs angry, he runs with a purpose, like he's trying to get another contract the way that Zeke used to run. And Zeke, like, I get it. He'll be useful in short yardage. Obviously, pass pro, we know he's great there. Dalvin Cook has not been good for over 2 years now. That signing doesn't really move the needle for me. Got to believe it, or, got to see it to believe it with him. I'm beating that saying into the ground, but got to see it to believe it with Dalvin Cook. I think Rico Dowdle's got juice. South Carolina guy. Loved watching him in college, obviously biased, but my answer, and this is a guy that I've been a rider for. Tolbert Hive, we alive. Jalen Tolbert takes the leap this year. He's gonna firmly establish himself as a wide receiver three. He might even be wide receiver two on this team by the end of the season. That's my prediction right now. I
I
think
love that.
I think Jalen Tolbert. He looked awesome in camp, the entire camp, especially with CD out. He got him and Dak just got more and more time to build up those reps, build up those chemistry. He talked about, multiple times just watching the preseason games, but he talked about how he just feels so much more confident this year. And, obviously this was something that we talked about last year and the year before with him, which is that, like, hey, a kid that went to South Alabama to the Dallas Cowboys, that's a pretty big time adjustment. So I think this is, the third year leap with him. He's pretty much in a no pressure situation. He's got best receiver in football and, a savvy veteran, really solid wide receiver too on the other side as well. And it's just kind of up to him to just kind of take everything else that, the two of them plus Ferguson aren't eating up. And I think he's ready for it. I Like I said, I've been a ride or die for Tolbert, but I'm gonna plant my flag right here, right now. Tolbert's gonna have a big year.
I love that. And I know Berk has said he's been a ride or die. I think I've been joining him. I actually, as soon as we drafted him, I'm like, who the fuck, South Alabama? And
Yeah.
then I did my digging. We as well have friends from the greater Texas, greater Dallas area who are very well read up on prospects. And it's a guy where it's like you can tell it was a big adjustment to learn an NFL playbook from a small ass school like South Alabama.
Mhm.
But you just saw it and you said it perfectly. This offseason, CD's contract situation, if there was one winner of that situation, it was Jalen Tolbert. It was
Absolutely.
the amount of reps he got with Dak, the amount of confidence he had in his breaks, where the ball is going to come from, what to do if you see this on the defense. It's him and Dak talking, and him and Dak getting closer chemistry.
Yep.
And the Cowboy teams have passed, the ones that have always let us down. Uh, they always take away our great 88 wide receiver. They always stuff the run game somehow. Our offensive line has a terrible game. And then our number two has a bad game or is shut down. In Jake Ferguson's case, Fred Warner's going to be hustling him across the field against San Fran. So in these type of games, we need someone to step up. I love the number one wide receiver. I love the visors he wears in camp. I'm firmly joining you in a flag plant. We're going to be raising the shit together because I think Jalen Tolbert by the end of the season, I don't even think it's a hot take. But I think he's our wide receiver too, and
Yep.
I think he's going to shock a lot of people, and I think he's going to be like I don't want to a deep league fantasy flex. I think he's a 12-team fantasy flex by the end of the
Mhm.
year.
I love that. I love that. Yeah. Tolbert Hive, we alive. We are firmly backing number one, Jalen Tolbert, no longer number 18. Number one is insane aura, by the way. I mean, that is
Yeah, crazy
so
aura,
yeah.
crazy.
By the way, I did want to also show this tweet really quick just because I thought it was really funny. Um DeMarvian Overshone, in case you hadn't seen it yet, he has found the equipment room.
Uh,
He has found the equipment room. I mean,
Talk about aura, bro.
yeah, the armbands, the arm sleeve, the crop jersey. This
Juice
is
is up to his damn shoulder pads.
yeah, he looks like a
Those are
creative
huge shoulder
player
pads.
in CFB 25.
He
I mean,
looks
this
like
is
my
insane.
linebacker right now in my Michigan State online
Literally.
dynasty.
Yeah.
Nah, like
Exactly.
crazy.
Exactly. But yeah, shout out to Marvin Overshone. Insane aura there. Just
Yeah.
had to show that off. But um, yeah, in terms of the rest of this game, I know we already both kind of had it as a loss, but are there any is there anything that we're kind of missing? I know this is
Yeah.
kind of abbreviated, but anything else that you wanted to touch on before we get to
Yeah,
score
and
prediction?
this kinda goes for the whole game, this game and kinda the whole season, but I wanna touch on it briefly. Kind of like, what are your expectations with Guyton and BB, and more specifically,
Mhm.
kind of our offensive line? It was a mini rebuild in quotes, prayers that they all both work out for us. But, I guess I'll kick us off. I think BB, I think he's an immediate upgrade on Biadasz, whatever the fuck his name was.
Be honest.
So glad I don't have to pronounce that thing anymore, bro. That took brain power. Um, I think we're going to see improvement in the run game, and maybe not every play. Maybe Zeke's fat ass could only get 2 on a play that should have gone for 6. But, I have I think as players, I think Cooper I think BB's floor right now is a lot higher than Guyton's, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think right now, as a player, BB's probably a 79, while Guyton's a 77. I think
Mhm.
that would be a fair assessment if we were to Madden over all these fools.
Yeah.
But I just hope to God it's not a Chaz Green game on our left tackle.
I don't think it
I've
will
been
be.
kind of I've been kind of having those thoughts, being like, shit, dude, like this is the ultimate, like, top three worst matchup for a rookie left tackle to walk into. And we have
Yeah.
one of them. And then the
Yeah.
other one plays in Pittsburgh, who he's gonna play later this season.
Yep.
Um, it's going to be a real test out of the gate, but I'm excited for it. From what we've seen in camp and who he plays against in camp, like I want him to do well, but I'm curious to know your expectations and what's a win. What do you consider a win for Guyton? 2 sacks for Myles Garrett only? Like, what are you considering like a win?
That's a great question. I think a win is, oof.
Of course,
Uh,
no sacks is a
yeah,
win,
I mean,
but I want to
of
know
course.
what's your floor on a win for Tyler Guyton?
I would say I would say 1 sack. I think there's a realistic world that he only gives up 1 sack. He might give up a couple pressures. Maybe Dak's rolling out to his right a lot, but I think there's a world he only gives up 1 sack.
I like that.
And
Yeah,
he, at least, as with any rookie, there's gonna be good reps, there's gonna be bad reps. He's gonna make his mistakes, but better to get them out now, while he's a rookie. And you know, as long as he doesn't get Dak killed, that's a win.
yeah.
Like
Okay, I
any
like that. Yeah,
any experience against one of the best, not only just defensive but players in the NFL. I mean, that's a win. Iron sharpens iron at the end of the day. We saw what Guyton could do a little bit in preseason, like when he matched up against Max Crosby. So I'm excited for him. Um, definitely looking forward to just the young O line, if you will, and kind of putting the finishing touches on that, like not rebuild but retool that they did, and getting some younger, fresher legs. So super excited for that. But um, real quick, before we jump into score prediction, I want to save that for last. I totally forgot. We have something very, very important that was, kind of a trademark of ours last year. Y'all saw it when we had RJ Ochoa when he came on. He actually hit his right on the head when he came on the pod. We're going to look to get him back on at some point this season. But Spanky, we have to do our Hot Boys and our Killaz of the week.
love it.
Totally forgot about this until
Yeah,
right
no,
now.
I was gonna
But we
bring it
got to
up.
do
Don't
this.
worry.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Well, I'm glad,
Um,
glad Spanky was
yeah,
on top of it. But
yeah.
let's go ahead and let's get started. Let's not spend a ton of time on it, but let's start on offense. And I want to hear your killer of the week for week 1.
Yeah. I'll let you take the fun one on this one. I'm gonna go all reliable. I'm gonna say CD Lamb.
Okay.
I want to see him. He didn't have a training camp. He just got paid. He knows he's now carrying higher and bigger expectations on his shoulder week in, week out. I want to see how he responds to pressure. He's nonchalant, so I mean, gun to my head, I think he responds to it well. But once again, I got to see it to believe it. I want to see him live up to his potential. I want him to keep challenging for this number one spot wide receiver in the NFL. And I think if somehow he gets a touchdown and 100 yards, I think we win this game comfortably. But it's going to be a very big time matchup, him on Denzel Ward in the
Mhm.
Browns secondary. So I roll with my guys and I choose CD Lamb.
Love it. I love it. Well, for my killer of the week, I am really torn on this one. This could go a couple of different ways for me. However, this is, I think, the other guy that me and David and the rest of our Cowboys group chat. He's the guy that we ride or die for. And that's number 87. That's Jake Ferguson. Not just saying that because I got him in fantasy and I probably overdrafted him, but I'm super high on him. But I am truly, and I think this is going to be unanimous throughout the podcast. I think as a whole, we're all in on the Jake Ferguson year 3 leap this year. I think
Oh yeah.
he's going to have a huge breakout year. If he's over 1,000 yards at the end of the year and is 8 to 10 touchdowns, won't be surprised. Won't be surprised at all. I truly think he's going to be the number 2 option in this offense behind CeeDee Lamb, and I think he gets his season started on the right foot. Big game against Cleveland here. Maybe not huge numbers wise, because again, this is going to be a tough game. Like we said when we preface this game, it's going to be ugly. It's going to be low scoring, but I'm going to say Jake Ferguson, and I'm going to say his final line is say 6 catches for 68 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, I like that.
Awesome. And then we got to do our Hot Boys of the week on defense.
I'll let you pick because you're going to take who I'm going to pick. So I'll let you talk about it.
Okay. Well, I don't know if I am gonna pick. I just feel like I
One.
don't know.
one
This one's
eight.
this one's really this one's really interesting for me. I could go a couple of different ways with this one. Um, I mean, I feel like there's a couple obvious answers here. And the one that I'm gonna go with is Trayvon Diggs. First game
Wow.
back, we're anticipating him that everything seems like he's a clear go for week 1. Going to be going up against a former teammate in Amari Cooper. I'm really curious to see how this matchup pans out, especially first game in almost a calendar year. So definitely looking forward to it. But I think Watson is the kind of quarterback that Trayvon feasts on, and that he's a little bit turnover prone.
Yeah, he
And
does.
I'm just gonna say right now, don't be surprised when Trayvon Diggs gets a pick this week. That's all I'm gonna say.
Ooh.
Yep.
Ooh. I like that, Berkey. Totally thought you were gonna go over Sean.
I was thinking
I
about it.
know,
Just
I
thinking about
know.
it.
I would hate if he didn't see the field. I know he might be dealing like a hip pointer or something like that, and Leah Fowles listed over him, but over Sean's mine. He brings,
Love it.
and I know I banged the table for it for longer than this podcast has been around. Berkey can attest. I've been banging the table for a C ball hit ball linebacker, and I am so effing pumped to finally have 2 of them on our roster and Overshawn and Leafau. So I'm very pumped about that, but I'm going to choose Overshawn, and I guess you could write in Leafau as well because whoever's
Okay.
starting opposite Eric Kendricks, I want as my spotlight as our new linebackers.
I love it. I love it. So either DeMarvin Overshown or Maris Leofel, but Spanky's all in on the young linebackers this week. I love it. I love that.
And
I'm
just a prediction. I don't want to predict what, but there's going to be a flash play, a mojo moment, as Mike McCarthy phrases them in practice. One of them's going to get that, and one of them's going to have that mojo moment where either we cement a victory or potentially inspire a comeback. But there's going to be a mojo moment in there.
I love it. I love it. Well, awesome. So there you have it. Hot Boys of the Week. I got Trayvon Diggs. Spanky's got the young linebackers, either DeMarvin Overshown or Maris Leofau. Killers of the Week. Spanky's got CD. I got Jake Ferguson. And that is our week 1 edition of the Hot Boys and Killers. So final thing here before we head out of here and get ready to watch this game, we've got to do our score predictions for the week. We
Yeah.
are both on the same page that we think this week is a loss. So the question is now, what's the score?
It's tough. I've been balancing, weighing the options in my head. I've fallen into 2 numbers that are in the 20s for both teams. I'm going to say 24-20 Cleveland.
Okay. Okay. That's pretty similar to mine. Mine is it's a pretty disgusting score. The first thing that came into my mind. And I don't think it'll be that low just because I trust their offense more. Just for context, the first score that came to my mind was
17?
it was 19-13. was the first
Dude,
score that came to
that
my
would
mind.
be such a tough watch
I
week
know.
1.
I know. But I'm not gonna say that it's gonna be that low. But yeah, 24-20 is a great pick. I'm gonna go with um 23-19.
Yeah,
Yeah, really weird
3
score. Don't know how either
3 field
either
goals, 1 tutty.
yeah, something like that. Sure. Yeah, 23-19. Book it. It's gonna be an ugly game, close loss. Can we wait?
4 field goals.
Yeah, 4 field goals and a touchdown. Yeah,
Wow.
like I said, it's gonna be ugly. It's gonna be low scoring, but um, yeah. I mean, we put these out there, not exactly aiming to be right. Well, unless we have the script, but we don't have. They haven't sent us the script yet, like they did last year.
Lost
So
in the mail, man.
yeah,
Pissed
yeah.
about it.
It's probably because I moved since the end
Yeah.
of last season, so it's just like,
Customer service felt our wrath. Don't
yeah.
worry.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that is pretty much going to wrap it up for episode 1 of season 2 of the Dallas Ballers Club. Um, Dallas Cowboys at Cleveland Browns this Sunday. Week 1 of the NFL season is upon us. Chiefs and Ravens kicking off in about 25 ish minutes. Real quick, who do you got tonight? Just outright winner.
Yeah, Ravens. The
Okay.
Ravens. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. I think the Chiefs are going to get it done on banner night. Hoping
Alright,
that
one of
Derek,
us hopefully is right.
yeah,
So,
yeah. Hopefully Derrick Henry has a big game for fantasy purposes. That's all I'm going to say. But um, that pretty much wraps up. Like I said, season 1, episode 2, Dallas Ballers Club. We're still trying to figure out when we're going to be back next. Try to get on a consistent weekly schedule and all that. But let us know what y'all think, just in terms of the changes, formatting, everything like that. We've done a lot of looking around, trying to figure out just how to put a better product out there for y'all. So yeah, got some things in the works. We're excited for this season. Believe it or not, we actually are excited. And as always, please follow us on our socials. Give us a follow: Twitter, TikTok at Dallas BC Pod, on Instagram at Dallas BC Podcast. And for any sponsorship opportunities, inquiries, anything like that, shoot us an email: podcastdbc@gmail.com. But until next week, I'm Bennett Lehman. That's David Spangler. Go give us a follow on our socials at DC Berk, at
uh, podcast DBC or Dallas Ballers Club on. You're not following my Twitter, people.
okay, shameless plug. I love it. Yeah, go follow David's Twitter at Dallas BC Pod. But until next week, thank you all again for joining us today. And we'll see you next week. Go Cowboys.
Boom!